What do Dollar Tree and Tim Holtz have in common? Well, they're both in this project and they're both awesome. I'm Ingrid Carlsen and I am so very happy to have you here with me today. Welcome. We are going to be making this little wallet that you can make in just under an hour. And if you want to learn how, stay tuned. Also, if you're not already subscribed, I would love for you to consider doing so, as well as hit that bell so you get notified anytime a new video comes out like this one. We're going to start off by grabbing a cereal box or something else that is a little bit thicker, but I wouldn't necessarily use a box like a a corrugated like packaging box. I would use something that's a little bit more pliable or bendable. And so I'm just taking these this cereal and I cut out a piece and I cut it to 4 inches by 10.5 inches. And if you want to cover it with pattern paper and you want it to be all one, not have a seam inside, you want to make sure that you cut it inside of, the parameters here. And so in this case, I do have borders on my printer. And so I need to make sure that I stay within that. So I've printed these 2 pages and these are Patreon freebies for, what month are we in? August. So I'm going to decide which one is my front and which one is my back. And I printed both of these on white cardstock, 110 pound. I get that question a lot. And I am going to, I think, let's see. I think that is very pretty. And I think that is very pretty. So originally I was thinking this is going to be my cover, but I actually think at the last minute those roses just won me over. And I think this is going to be my cover. So I'm going to start by just gluing it down. And I'm going to use something at the bottom of my glue so that I don't make such a mess. And on something like this, you want to make sure that when you are gluing, that you glue from edge to edge. And so this is not the time to skimp out on glue. You want to make sure that your paper adheres really well. So I find that when you lay something down first, then it allows you to kind of go over the edge and it be okay. Now, I'm actually going to turn this over, I think, because I want to, well, let's see if I can do this. The good part is that the wet glue is going to allow me to have some wiggle room. I'm just using the light that's being cast off my window to make sure that I'm in, and you can see I'm pushing pretty hard, but you're seeing all of the glue that's coming off of or out of, seeping through the edges. And I like to do this for 2 reasons. 1, you don't need that excess glue, but also 2, it makes sure, or it makes it so that the glue goes all the way to the edge and you don't have your edges peeling up. Take off the excess. I got a little bit of glue. The hazards. Now I'm going to do the same thing And I'm gonna try not to lay this down because, as you saw, I got the glue seep through and it started to take off some of the ink, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna go over to the side, and then we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go a little lighter on the glue. I always go extra with this glue. And I have a love-hate relationship with pretty much every glue that I've ever used. There's so many things, there's so many glues that like have really good things, and I think that's my papers kind of have I think this is the right side. So if not, it's gonna be okay. And I'm not gonna worry too much. I would like some of that in there. Let's see. Looks good to me. And I'm just thinking this through now. I should have cut the pieces out first, the one side, and then glue this. So don't do what I just did. Stop before you glue it down. So I'm gonna have to go in the light and cut out where I think that the cardboard is. I can kind of see it, but this would have been a lot easier if I would have glued the one side, cut it out, and then glued the other. To be honest, I'm running late today. We had someone stop by at the house unexpectedly, and it threw my whole day off. Okay. I think I got majority. And to be honest, this is the second project because I had other ideas that ended up not panning out the way that I wanted them. This one's a little harder to see through on the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and start by cutting off the white edge, and then I'm going to just see where my 10.5 is and mark it, and we're just gonna go with that and cut across. You know, sometimes you guys see me on here where I mess things up, and I leave it in the videos. Sometimes, not every time, but a lot of the times I leave it in the video so that you can see that that stuff happens to everyone. I think of crafting sometimes like math class, and how many of you can relate to this of you're in class and you're getting taught a new, what do you call that? A new equation or a new formula, whatever. And in class, they give you this equation that's like super simple. It's easy to understand, no problem. You do another one, it's a little harder, but okay. And then you get home and the homework is 10 times as hard as the last problem, and there's no exact example for it. Do you know what I mean? That's so frustrating. That's always been very frustrating to me. And so I want to show you that the hard part, you know, and if I'm having this issue, maybe somebody else is having it. And so I just want to be transparent with that. I'm just trying to take out any air bubbles. And ultimately, you want to let this sit. The longer that you can let a glue rest and sit, oops, did you see all that glue just squirt out? the longer that you can let it sit, the better it's going to adhere. And so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to try to dry this a little bit with my heat gun, and then we will be back. We are not completely dry, but we're dry enough. And like I said, for you at home, I would let this completely dry before you keep going on. So I'm going to try to mold this. And the reason I'm pushing it down is so that I can get this to be a little more pliable and for my pages not to come apart. For you at home, since you've let this dry, you don't have to do this part. Okay, for the cover, you're going to decide where you want your cover to be. So what I like to do, let me grab a regular sheet of paper to explain this better. So let's say this is our little wallet. So what I like to do is, instead of measuring or anything like that, I like to just roll it so that there's no edges that are being creased. And then I can decide if I want it to be here or if I want it to be here. Let's say I want it to be all the way down. Like I can, at this point, I can cut pieces off if I want to, but this is how I decided. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to measure over, 3 inches, score, measure over 5 inches, score. So that's the way that I like to do it, just to cut out the measuring aspect. So I like this, but I think I want a little bit of that pink floral in there. And so I'm just going to go right here. And then once I've decided that this is it, then I'm going to press this down. And I'm going to crease it so that it stays. And you can see that my glue was not 100% dried, so I did get some little buckling here, but I'm just going to press it out with my bone folder and not worry about it. Okay. And I'm not worried about this piece either, because we're going to cover it. I just want to make sure that, there we go. My edges, it was bothering me because the edge down here was not flush, but that's okay. I'm going to decorate right here, so it's not going to matter that I have the 2 roses here. And if you are part of my Patreon and you have, first of all, thank you. And if you want to learn more about becoming a Patreon and to support me and also to get some pretty printables, then I'll leave the information in the description down below. But if you do have this, then you can work along with me. If not, you can use any paper that you want. Sky's the limit. I'm just showing you how to use it using those. The next thing I'm going to grab is, I'm going to grab from Dollar Tree my faux leather purse. So for those of you that do not remember, it was kind of looked like this. This was the brand, and I've already cut it up and used it. And I had this little piece here, and I think that's going to be perfect for this. We're going to add it here. So I'm going to straighten this out, and then I will cut it out so that it fits. And I'm going to just leave that for now. Well, actually, let's go ahead and play with it. So I have two options here. I could cover it where I have the purse or the leather, that it extends past the cover like this. Or I could have it where it butts up against the purse or the edge of the wallet like this. So we're gonna, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Originally I was thinking I was going to extend it. I think I am gonna extend it. And so I'm gonna go ahead and glue it in place. That way it has time to sit. For this though, I think I'm going to use my art glitter glue because I'm gonna be able to get a better adhesion. I need to fill this up with my refill, and then I think I'm going to need to buy a new one soon. Oh, hopefully I'm not clogged up. I might be. There you go. Now, I will tell you that if you are planning on sewing, you might not want to do this with the glue because it can gum up your needle and cause issues. I'm gonna pinch it down at the bottom and kind of just fold it, and then I'm going to decide where it's going to go. And to make sure that this sticks, I'm going to add some binder clips to hold it in place. What I like to do with the binder clips is I'll put them here so that they hold up the edge here, and then in a few minutes I'll move them so they get like right here, because this is where the binder clip is putting pressure, and then I'll move it more towards the edge. That way I'm getting a pretty good hold on all the areas. So I'm going to start with this piece here, which we are going to decorate, and I think it's still not, I might have already folded it too much. I feel like it's not even. And after I tell you guys, don't worry about it not being even, and I'm over here worrying about it. Sorry. I'm going to pull some papers, and I'm just pulling whatever I have on my desk. I've shown you guys before that I have bins that I have papers in, so I'm just grabbing some papers that I have. Do like, it's funny, I like this rose, but I think for some reason this goes better, maybe because it has this, and I think this might be a Patreon printable as well. I do not remember. I'm gonna grab some of my Dollar Tree faux homemade paper, handmade paper, that I have run through the embossing machine, and I'm gonna grab a couple of pieces that I think might work well. I'll pull that one. And we're gonna see how these look. And I'm just gonna have it peeking out on the edge here, so it's very minimal. It's between this tan and the green. I think the tan ones. So because I do not need to use the whole thing, I'm only going to cut about, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, something like that. Enough to put a dent down, but not to lose so much that's going to go underneath. I'm going to distress this because this paper distresses like a dream. Oh, I forgot to measure, so Barkley got a haircut. Oh, no, I'm gonna cut it flush. Barkley got a haircut and now he's kind of out of sorts. He got cut like all the way, almost bald, and so he's like, he's struggling. He's happier, I think, like this, but the first couple days he, doesn't know what to do with himself. And we joke that he's lost his pretty privilege. I'm just using this glue since I have it sitting here. And I'm gonna leave just a tiny bit of the pink peeking through, and just after the fact I'm gonna go through, distress both the pink and the paper, the faux paper, handmade paper. Am I sure? Too late. So anyways, I was telling you about Barkley because if you hear any noises, it's him in the background. He actually loves old toilet paper rolls, like the, just the remnant of it. And I was just in here trying to figure out what I was going to film, and I heard a noise, and it was him, and he had taken, it wasn't on the roll, it was just like sitting in the bathroom, and he had taken it and he was like chewing it up. Let's grab some Tim Holtz ephemera to layer. I might use this. Oh, I think that is really pretty. I might use that. And I'm trying to find a person. I want someone that's slender. I think this girl might. Oh, and for those of you that ask sometimes about, I get a lot of questions about this. This is an ephemera holder book. It's made out of a mixed media sketchbook, and I have a video on it. I'll have it linked down below if you want to check out the tutorial on how to make it and all the you know, tidbits about it, but I do want to show that sometimes my pages tear and I just tear that piece off and move on. I'm definitely not going to use this whole thing because I don't want to cover up my flower, but I want some of it covering. Like that might be good. And I might end up covering up my flower. I'm not going to do everything to avoid it. I'm just on the same aspect. I'm not going to go too far out of my way not to. So I think that that works out really nice because it is still giving me my paper here peeking through. It's giving me this little piece peeking through, which I really like, this little emblem. And then my girl is star of the show, and then I still have a little piece of this ephemera, which I am going to just lightly distress. And I am going to take out some alcohol inks today. I don't pull them out all the time, but I think I want to try to distress a little bit with them. While I do that, I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clips. And I'm just going to play with some browns. Oh, I wonder how this gold would look. I almost did it over that. Don't do that. And I also grabbed the blower. And I think for the girl though, we're going to do maybe more of a brown. I like the gold, and that gold is really nice. So this is by Brea Reese, I believe. And I think I got these maybe at Tuesday morning before they left. Every time I think of that, that's so sad. I have a yellow, let's see. I'm gonna just, let's see, I think this is rosewood, so it's kind of a red color. I really need to get some in like a brown. I do have that brown. And I have this brand, whatever this is, linked in my Amazon storefront. They're really cheap. And I was going to say about the other one that they come out really strong sometimes. I'm going to go back. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blot that off just a tad and then blow it. And then we're going to add some, actually let me try some alcohol, see how that reacts with it. And just let it do its thing. I'm going to put that down and then just start They do reactivate with the alcohol, or you can also use the blending solution. What I love about alcohol inks though is that they dry pretty quickly. So I think that that's good. I am going to add a little bit of yellow to it though, because I think that'll give it a fun aged effect. Actually, I'm going to leave that as is. And I am going to add a little bit to her face, but what I'm going to do is add the alcohol, my alcohol first, and then the yellow. That way it's not so, there we go, not so dark. And then I'm going to go back in with the dark now on the edges. You know, anytime you're adding, what did I use for the dark? Oh yeah, the brown. Actually, I think I'm going to go in with this color, which is mushroom. Oops. And I think I'm going to wipe off a little bit off of her face. It's a little too yellow. But I will take that ink and that just made it look so grungy and yummy. And I think once we layer her with the gold, that'll be really pretty. And I do talk about this all the time, that I think that that just works so lovely together, to have like the pretty of the flower and of the embossed floral, then with the grungy aspect. And actually before, oh, I think that's fun. I might glue that. But before I put that down, I'm gonna look through and grab maybe a sentiment, if I have any. I mean, I do, I just don't know what I have. I like this one. It's a number. I think that'll be fun. So we're going to glue the butterfly. And this is actually just like one butterfly. If you can see the body and antenna are here. And so the two wings are like overlapped, but I'm gonna pretend that it's just one and that's her wing. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then we're going to add that little pop. I was going to staple, but I forgot. How adorable is that? So cute. Now we're going to be adding a pocket here, and on this side I'm going to add like little papers. So I'm going to go through and just grab some coffee dyed or avocado dyed papers. I'm going to add a piece of this. One of the things I love about working in miniatures or with small pieces is that you can get so much use out of your paper. So I'm just going to, let's see, that's my edge. I don't want anything to go past that. So that'll be my kind of, what do you call it? Sorry, my template. And I'm not worried about cutting straight lines here. I think the less straight your lines are, the more charming your little booklet becomes. I'm gonna add another one. And on this one, I'm not going to measure. I'm gonna tear it. Keep a little bit of this so that I can fold it over. Let's add some book page to this. Oh, I also have this that it's like that faux fabric. I think we'll add some of that. I think that maybe the pink might get this on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it down so I don't chicken out from using it. And I'm going to put it upside down because I like the edge being like that. How adorable is that? And I think let's add, maybe I have this excess pink right there. No, I don't like that. I think I like this by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this. Oh, and I think I need to make this a little bit smaller. So I'm going to just fold it. I'll just fold this over. I love those little pages too that flip. Okay. I think we're good with that. And then let's go ahead and add a pocket here on this side. So we're just going to do an easy pocket. We're not going to overthink this at all. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm such a messy creator when I'm creating, and I really do well when, sorry about the dog, I don't know what's going on. He got a haircut too, that's Shaq down there, so he's out of sorts as well. I really do best when my space is cleaned off. So let's just move some stuff out of the way. What ends up happening is when I'm, especially when I'm filming, is that stuff gets in the way and I'll put things to the side like, oh, I'm going to use this piece, and then I forget to use it because I forgot it because it was just hidden on top of or behind underneath something. So I'm going to just push that to the side. There we go. Much better, isn't that? And there's still a little bit, but just going to get a kind of an estimate for the measurement here. And I don't know that this is even. Looks good to me. And so it's going to go here. And I was going to cut it down, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over the edge. Oh, I kind of like that. I was going to fold it and fold it like this, but I kind of like this paper peeking through. Yeah, I really like that. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to glue it down. Let's see. I'm going to sew around some pieces. We're going to go over to the sewing machine, but I'm going to only glue this down on this edge so that this is kind of open. And you could tuck something in, but I think that it just looks fun like that, kind of curled. It will flatten out as you close it, but it's not going to stick down right there. So I think that's very cute. And also I'm going to sew this into place. So I'm just going to add maybe just 2 rows of stitching here, one at the edge here and then one at this edge. And then we will come back and sew in our signature, and we're almost done. let's start by doing our pocket. So cute. And with the pocket, I'm going to glue down the 3 sides, the small side, the bottom, and this edge. Oops. And then I'm going to just add a little bit of glue right here inside this corner, and I'm just going to push it down. I think I need a little bit of extra glue right there. Look how cute that is. So adorable. Okay, while that's drying, I went ahead and grabbed my eyelets and kind of thinking maybe the gold. Yeah, we'll go with the gold since our girl here has the gold around the edge. I think that'll go well. And I'm not going to measure, so if that hurt your feelings, I'm so sorry. I'm going to just fly by the seat of my pants. Hopefully I don't have to fast forward to me being like, man, I should have measured. Look how adorable. Eyelets make everything happy to me. That noise. So that barely went through the back because it was so thick, but it went through. Look how pretty this is already. We're going to, oh, I see. I want this a little bit further out. Hopefully that's, there we go. I want that little paper piece. That's good. And we are going to just do a simple stitch with this, and I'm going to have the stitching go on the inside. So if I have like a tan color, we'll go with that. Oh, here's some right here. I think it's already threaded, so maybe. Not already threaded, but easy enough to do. I'm not even going to measure it. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine because we're just going to do 2 holes and then tie them in a loop like a shoelace. Now, because my papers and my project are pretty small, I'm not going to like binder clip anything, or so you couldn't see, but there's 2 holes on the inside, and I'm going to come through from the outside, no, from the inside. Yeah, so you can see there's my holes, and I'm just going to go in through here, and look how easy. Now here, if you wanted to and you didn't want to make this permanent, you could, instead of tying this into a knot here, you could just tie it into a bow, and then you could always untie it whenever you needed to. I'm gonna leave the threads like that because I love threads. And look at how cute our little book is. Now the only thing we need to add is a closure to it. So let's do that. I have this little dainty ribbon. Who knows where it's from and how old it is. I think this is the perfect size. Oh, and if you were watching my past videos and I was calling this owl, it's all, like A-L-L, all. It is spelt A-W-L. Half the time I don't even know what I'm saying when I'm saying it. And then our closure is just going to wrap around the top and the bottom, and then we're just going to close it with a little loop. And now we're done. There's our little wallet. It is such a sweet little project that you can work on in an afternoon. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm to push it out to other people, but also it really helps me to know that this is content that you like, and then I can continue making more content like this. It really helps to gauge that for me. So I just want to thank you all for your love and your support, your comments, and they honestly, they mean the absolute world to me. So I just want to take a second to say thank you, and then also to tell you, in case you have not been told today, you matter. You are important, and you are loved beyond a shadow of a doubt. Until next time, love you guys. Bye.